Hey everyone, you're watching Emerald TV, the place to be to learn strategies on living your highest potential through the mind, body, and spirit, all while having fun. And today we're going to be talking about fear and love. I came into this thought one morning when I was just lying down in bed with my fiancée Stephanie and my son Jordan. This random thought came into my head. I acknowledged myself being a father and the responsibilities that I had. I acknowledged Stephanie as her role as a mother and the responsibilities that she had. And I acknowledged Jordan, whose sole responsibility is to really just be a kid at this moment of his life. Then the thought came to me that even though we are supposedly separate in our responsibilities and roles, when we come together, we're a family. And the whole notion of separation is an illusion started coming to me. And I started thinking more on this little thought that the idea of separation continues to grow the more we start identifying ourselves with our roles and responsibilities instead of being a part of the whole. Now this brought me to the question of how does this illusion of separation even begin? And I came to find that it was fear and love. Love is what binds us together and fear is what separates us. When I operate from love, I start noticing that I have a deeper purpose, a deeper meaning, and I take greater action for my family. And the moments where I've noticed that I operate from fear in the form of anger, I view myself as alone and misunderstood, causing this illusionary rift to be created. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, the psychiatrist who introduced the theory of the 5 stages of grief, shares in her book On Death and Dying, there are only 2 emotions. All positive emotions come from love. All negative emotions come from fear. From love flows happiness, contentment, peace, and joy. From fear comes anger, hate, anxiety, and guilt. It's true that there are only 2 primary emotions, love and fear, but it's more accurate to say that there is only love or fear. For we cannot feel those 2 emotions together at exactly the same time. They're opposites. If we're in fear, we're not in the place of love. When we're in the place of love, we cannot be in the place of fear. Now, fear and love are the 2 most powerful forces in the world. And while I believe that love is the most powerful force of all, it's the fear-based mentality that dominates our culture. And a lot of us are brought up in this fear-based mentality. We tend to focus more on what's missing or is it good enough, particularly when it comes to ourselves. I watched an interview from one of my favorite teachers, Marianne Williamson, a while back, and she had an amazing point of view on what love was. And she brought up the whole point about the whole honeymoon phase where everything is just la-di-da in the beginning, and then once the honeymoon phase is over, everything just seems to go downhill from there. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us have experienced that. And she challenges that idea that of those brief few months of euphoria when you first start dating your partner. She said that what if those first few months or that honeymoon phase was when you truly saw that person for who they were? Because during those few months you didn't care about their flaws or the wrongs they did. You accepted that person and you loved them wholly. But as the months pass, we begin to notice the things that we don't like. And we tend to start focusing on those things instead. And we start telling our partner that we don't like it when they do this or that. And even worse, we start pointing out their hugest flaws. Now imagine doing this for months and months and months. It's no wonder why so many relationships don't last. Yes, we do have our needs, but that's a level of communication through love that I'm not going to talk about in this video. Actually, I talk about active listening in another video, and you can check it out here. You can watch it now or after this video. So as you start to see, it becomes into a whole pointing fingers game that I need to fix this person, or some of us don't, but this is what some people tend to do. Furthermore, she goes into saying that our current human minds aren't able to sustain this kind of love because we've been so trained and conditioned in the fear-based mentality. If you want to check out that exact interview, I've hooked you guys up with the video right down below, so you guys can watch it for yourself. So how do you start coming more from love instead of fear? How different would all our lives be if we could just remove all the fears in our life? And what's a shame is that by the time we're over being afraid, we're either too sick or too old to do anything about it. While everyone's advice is going to be completely different from mine, here's a short list of things that you can do that I've done. Number 1, be grateful. The moment we start focusing more on being thankful for the things we have, we stop comparing ourselves to others and we stop focusing on the things we don't have. It's one thing to acknowledge the improvements that we need in our lives, but if it becomes a source of stress, then at that point, that's where we need to really step back and just chill. Fact of the matter is, if you're watching this in the US, a lot of us have things that people would love to have. Even if your life isn't exactly where you want it to be at the moment, take the time to be grateful for what you have. 2. Journal and track all the thoughts that serve you and don't serve you. You've heard me say this a million times in a bunch of my other videos. That's because I hold this to be true, at least for me. Becoming aware of our thoughts gives us a whole new way of seeing ourselves. It's one thing to acknowledge and think that we know what we're feeling, but it's another thing to see it right in front of us. It may not be for everyone, but it's definitely something that you should try at least once. 3. Text 3 random friends that you care about them. I love doing this because it's something that you normally don't expect. It's almost like an unexpected gift from someone, and I know it has really brightened a lot of my friends' days whenever I've done this. 4. Join a community. As hard as we may try, we humans aren't meant to do everything on our own. Why not join some like-minded people so you can travel together on this journey and you have a support system to get there? 5. Do a random act of kindness. We're all on our own journey, and we all have ways of contributing to each other's lives in one way or another. It's so easy to get caught up in our own little reality of doing our own thing that we forget everyone else. Opening the door for someone, giving someone $1, buying someone's meal, making someone laugh or smile, simple small things like that can really go a long way. Number 6, take a transformation workshop. What better way to really dive in and do the work and surround yourself with people who are on the same journey as you? I did it about a year ago, and all I can say is that it changed my life. Number 7, write a love letter to yourself. As woo-woo as this sounds, you'll be surprised to find how many people have a hard time acknowledging the good things about themselves and how easy it is for them to point out what's wrong. And while you're at it, why not write a love letter to the people you love as well and actually mail it? No one does old school mailing anymore, and I'm pretty sure that they would love to receive an actual letter. And lastly, number 8, check out APPSUMO'S failure games. One of the most common things about our ego and our fear is that we don't want to look wrong, we don't want to look stupid, we don't want to be judged, we don't want to be rejected. This is the perfect app to get over your ego and get out of your comfort zone. If you haven't heard of this app, I suggest that you get up on it, challenge yourself, get out of your comfort zone and have fun. And that's about it. Keep in mind that you don't have to do everything on this list. It's just a great starting point. Now, before I go, what are your takes between fear and love? Head on over to the blog and share your wisdom. And while you're at it, make sure you subscribe to the free newsletter so I can hook you up with insight and more beyond Emerald TV. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a friend who you think might benefit from it. And remember, we're all called to greatness, whether it's the lowest point of our lives or at the highest point in our lives. We're all a choice away from our highest potential. But at the end of the day, it's up to us to choose. Thank you guys for watching Emerald TV, and I'll catch you guys next time. I swear like 10 helicopters have passed since I started filming. I've shared the, if you want to check out the exact interview, if you want to check out that exact interview,